Hi, sorry. I didn't mean to be this late. I was having a meeting with one of the alphas over in Treearm Springs, and I decided it would be faster to try and come back to Starlit Hills via Storm Harbor, and the traffic was awful, but if I'd tried to go back to Starlit Hills via Mist Valley, I definitely would have been very late because it's too far out of the way. So, yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be this late. Anyway, hi. I'm Alpha Shadix, Natalie Shadix, and I'm told that you are the newest member of my pack, right? Okay, great. Remind me your name? Oh, that's a nice name. Nice to meet you. Yeah. Go ahead and have a seat. Okay, first and foremost, tell me a little bit about yourself. As your alpha, I would like to know a little bit more about my pack members. I mean, you can start anywhere. Let's start with where are you from? Oh, okay, so you're not from the region. So you moved to Starlit Hills. Yeah, I've heard the jobs here are pretty good. Oh, well, my job is quite literally running this pack. The Supernatural Council provides a stipend for alphas. Running a pack is a lot of work, especially when its members are as young as mine. Our youngest member, Poppy, she is about 19, I think, and she's been a werewolf for about 6 months, so she's a bit of a newer turn, too. And all of my pack members are not too much older than her. My beta actually is 24, and she's been a werewolf for 8 years, I think. And she'd been a werewolf for the longest after me, so I made her my beta when I became the alpha. Oh, did they not tell you in your information packet from the clinic? I was born a werewolf. I grew up in one of the Treearm Springs packs, the same one whose alpha I was just having a meeting with. That alpha is my cousin, who took over the position after my father decided to retire. Yeah, after my cousin became the alpha, I moved out here because his leadership style and I did not get along, to put it politely. That's a story for another day, though. Don't worry about it. Anyway, anything else you'd like to say? What's your family like? Okay. And I'm guessing you haven't told them about the bite. Yeah. Between you and me, I was raised a werewolf. My entire family are werewolves. I don't know what it's like to have to tell my family about something like that happening to me, but I have watched most of the members of my pack admit to their families, that they got turned. And I would honestly recommend waiting. Yeah, just giving it a couple months so that you can adjust and you feel more comfortable in who you are. I tend to find that it goes over a little smoother with families when the person who got turned is more confident in what they've become. Yeah, of course you can ask me a question. I'm here to guide you. Oh, female alpha. Let's just say media portrayals of werewolves are often wildly inaccurate, to put it politely. It's mostly interpretations of the very few stories of real lycanthropes that have seeped their way into folklore. So a lot of the popular ideas are not always necessarily true. For example, I will admit that it is more common for male lycanthropes to be the alpha of their pack. I don't know if it's tradition, but it is more common. But there's never been any rule. But it's not a big deal. I mean, no one's ever given me too much guff for being a female alpha. Especially not in the Alphas Alliance. I mean, I'm not the only female alpha in it. There's 2 packs in Tree Arm Springs. Then there's a small pack in Dragonspire Peak. I think they have one, don't they? And then a small pack in Storm Harbor. And Mist Valley is really the only town in the region that doesn't have any packs. Everybody who's been in the supernatural community for a while knows that Mist Valley is pretty exclusively vampire territory. Well, it's not that vampires and werewolves can't get along or don't get along. It's just that we don't usually bother to try. Yeah. Which is probably something we could work on, to be honest with you. Yeah, just here in Starlit Hills, I've never really had the opportunity. There aren't really any vampires here. I mean, there might be, but I've never met any. Starlit Hills, despite being in the region where supernatural creatures tend to congregate, really doesn't have much in the way of other creatures. I mean, you met the clinic staff, right? Yeah, the receptionist is half siren. Wait, really? The doctor was a vampire? Huh. Didn't know that. I've never actually gone to the clinic. I've just exchanged emails with the receptionist a lot. Yeah, Tally and I are pretty good friends at this point. But I haven't ever met any of the clinical staff there, I guess. The doctors and nurses and whatnot. Well, maybe now I should go over and actually pay them a visit. No, usually I send my beta with any pack members who get injured because it's my job to keep my eye on the rest of them. Oh, yeah, you're gonna meet them all, eventually. Quite a few of us, and it's not as many as the pack I grew up in. I mean, Tree Arm Springs is a much bigger place than Starlit Hills, which is obviously why they have 2 packs. But the pack I grew up in is the bigger of the 2. It's got Well, it had about 35 werewolves in it when I left, but I left when I was 20, and it's been quite a while, so I don't know how many they have now. Yeah, the other pack in Tree Arm Springs is a little smaller. And my pack here is smaller still. There's 10, I think, of us now. I know everybody. I just haven't actually counted how many there are. Which makes me sound like a terrible alpha, but honestly, I'm less concerned with numbers and more concerned with people. I mean, I grew up in a big pack. It was a family. We weren't all blood related, but we were a family. So I've been trying to emulate that feeling in this pack since I've become the alpha. I was made the alpha because I was born a werewolf and therefore have spent my entire life as a werewolf, and everyone else are turns. Speaking of turns, and I know this isn't the greatest segue, but do you know who bit you? Did you catch a glimpse? Even like a pelt color? Rust. Well, you weren't turned by someone from my pack. You weren't turned by any of the werewolves who are actually living in Starlit Hills. That's odd. But that also means someone is trespassing on my territory. Nope. Calm down, Natalie. Calm down. I'm sorry. As an alpha, it's kind of my job to be a little territorial. And I don't take lightly to having my territory trespassed on, especially if it means accidents like you getting bitten happen. And to be clear, you getting bitten is not your fault. And I know Tally mentioned in her email that you chose to let the lycanthropy set in, and that's your choice, that's your decision. I'm not putting you at fault for anything here. I'm just a little frustrated that someone's trespassing. There aren't any rust-colored wolves in my pack. So whoever it was from either a different pack or a complete lone wolf. And it's my job to get them out of my territory and protect my territory. Which means I get to go on a hunt. But you are still too newly turned to have to join me, so don't worry about anything like that. I'm just gonna take my beta and survey the area. And then when we come back, she can give you a little rundown on more information when it comes to lycanthropy. A lot of new turns have a hard time adjusting without a little guidance, and honestly, I would genuinely say that Hazel will do a better job bringing you up to speed than me, because she was turned too. So I will have her give you sort of a crash course in werewolfery when we get back. Is there anything else that I can do to help you right now? Okay. Well, it was very much a pleasure to meet you, and I'm really glad that you're going to be joining my pack, and I'm honored to serve you as the alpha. And we will be seeing each other again very soon. I have to introduce you to the rest of your new pack. Yeah, it's kind of mandatory that you meet them all. Not necessarily all at the same time, but members of the pack tend to know each other because we're a pack. Yeah. Yeah, it was nice to meet you. And I'll see you soon. Okay, yeah. Have a good day. And I've got to get going. Bye-bye.